Hey guys, I'm SoundKiller, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make dubstep basses in Serum. I'm going to be covering a wide variety of basses and sounds that you can make in Serum. So hopefully you guys learn a lot in this tutorial. Anyways, let's open up Serum and let's get started. So Serum is like the VST I always use. If you guys haven't seen me use Serum already, then I'm pretty sure like in 2018 everybody knows what Serum is and whatnot. But overall, let me just set this to the default skin. This is Serum, and I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to make different types of basses using Serum. So I'm gonna start by just start doing the basses and explaining why I'm doing this. And I'm gonna be overall explaining and showing you guys why I do these kinds of basses or how and whatnot, and give a few tips to add variety and add different things to your basses. So let's start by loading a wavetable. So the wavetable I like to use a lot is the gel. Currently, I'm really liking the gel. It's VR wavetable volume 2. So it's a very nice wave. It sounds like this. I like it because it sounds very crunchy, very has like that deep low end on the start of the wavetable. Then it starts getting gritty and grittier and grittier. So I really like this wavetable because of that. It sounds very clean as well. There's like no weird artifacts or stuff in the wavetable in general. So I like to set this at like uh, half a beat rate. Obviously have this on trigger. As you can see, it has like those gritty vowel-y tones. And what I like to do is I like to add a bit of unison to this and have it slightly detuned, like around 6 to 8. And this makes a weird phase offset where it's some harmonics frequencies cancel out and giving it a distinctive, unique sound, which sounds very nice, especially if you turn down the random to 0. The random phase knob, what it does, it randomly starts the sound in any of the wave cycle. So for instance, one of the four voices in the unison could start here, 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 here. Well, when you set it to 0% random, all the unison will start here, making it since they're slightly detuned, they're not perfectly pitched, making them cancel out each other's different frequencies, giving that distinctive phase canceling sound, which I really like. Sounds like this. So I really like that. The next second thing I like to do is like to add some FM from this, and usually I just like turn on this. I set like to a saw wave, turn the volume down, the level down. Maybe turn it down 1 octave and add some sync. And have this second LFO, low frequency thing, low frequency operator I think it's called. Have something like this. Maybe around 20, a value of 20 sounds nice. And of course I'd like to have these two detune and unison knobs in sync. Like for example, if this is 7, this should be in 7, it's 4, 4. I like to have them both paired to be at the same number. And then automate the level as well. Set this trigger. Another thing you can do to add, like, make it more unique is squarify it. So sounds very metallic, very rhythm-ish, very modern bro kind of stuff. And I also like to add a sub to this just to like have a more solid fundamental. Some white noise as well, bright white. Normalize. And my PC is lagging out. I'm sorry. It's battery saver. And now this is where the sound design in general starts to like get very interesting. Let me just first add a bit of sync. You can add like a flanger to this, just like add more a different tone to this. So for example, at 128 hertz sounds very nice. And automate the like resonance of this. And then, for example, add some hyperdimension to add more of like detune and stereo width to this. Multiband compressor, OTT, whatever you want to call it, sounds very nice on these types of basses. And what really makes the sound is the filter, a high pass peak filter or a high pass notch filter. These two filters are what make the vowel-y, the very vowel-y tone of the bass. So for example, if I modulate it from here to here, press Shift Alt, and then just something like this, with a high resonance around 40. And then have this around 70, and then just go back here. Add some distortion as well. And then you can like change the flanger, see which one you like the most. And then I also like to add the EQ just to add a little bit more vowelish tone to this. Have this like this, 0 decay, 0 size. It gives it a nice metallic tone. And you can like have an envelope controlling this to, like when the sound stops playing, just to, like cut off the reverb. You can also like play with automation here with like the LFO. The basic shape, depending on the shape you select, it also changes a lot the sound. And you can like to add more cool things. You can like control this within, like control the LFO. And you can make like this very crazy bass sound with just like such simple processing. You can like, if you want it more gritty, instead of having like a squarify, just have it in the normal wave shape. And it makes that really very cool bass. So let's keep on making a few basses. See what else we can make. Again, default skin. Default. Set current skin as default. So since I already used the VR wavetable in this particular sound, I'm gonna choose a squelchy. Let's see. I'm gonna choose this one. Fun fact: this is actually a very cool sound made in citrus. So if I have SoundKiller here, if I'm not mistaken, it should be this one. So if I go here, so this is. So basically, that's like a citrus FM sound made like seamless. So if I get, which he's basically recorded the modulation and just like imported it in a wavetable, which is a very cool thing that I can also like teach you guys how to do in the next patch. But let's continue on. Let's enable here a basic shape again. I'm gonna keep with the sine wave, and what I'm gonna do is turn off the level on this one, set this maybe to like 1, and have this FM for me. So this is another type of bass I like to do, is like having the main wavetable FM through a second wavetable and just going through it, which makes some like getter style basses, which is very fun, very nice. And what really makes these kinds of basses is like having this high pass. I really like to use the high pass filter for this high pass peak. Because it gives it like that whoa, like the very volush tone, which I really like for basses. Again, adding a bit of like stereo to this. Just medium. I like to have like a large mix and a small size, because then the decay on this, like, it doesn't barely, like, after I play the sound, it also like it almost immediately stops. While if I have a large size, it will give it more of a larger tail. So I like to have this as minimal, like as minimum as possible. And what you can make, like what you can do to have like this more interesting is like adding some sync again, like adding some more vocal tone to this, like having this automated. And again, adding like this EQ, which you can actually like have it before the OTT, so it gives it a different sound. So for example, I have this automated like this. And you can like play around, for example, with the random knob and the FM values, and you can like try to fine tune it to like to a sound you like. Maybe add more voices and make this a bit more detuned. So it sounds very nice. I'm actually liking this bass. And I really like this bass, for example, if you have like a very short thing and having like go very fast, like for example like this. Like for example, having it on 32, like for example, like just a very short piece going like from 32 to like the 8th, 1/8, sounds very cool like that. Again, adding a bit of like the metallic sound to this. Maybe do a bit of low cut. And there's our second bass. I really like this second bass as well. So let's continue on with the third bass. So for the third bass, I'm gonna import a wavetable here. So I'm gonna go here to my Dubstep folder. I'm just gonna search for a random piece of sound. For example, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna import a Tioski. Let's see, Tioski. Synth. Honestly, I'm not liking these. How it's sounding. Let's see something else. Maybe cymatics. Nah, cymatics a joke. Or I know. Vengeance. Vengeance has good samples. Like for example, if I go here to Essential Dubstep Volume 3, we can go here to, for example, like synths, bass one shots. This one sounds very nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna type F0. So if I enable here the keyboard typing, F0. And what this means is that the fundamental note is in the F note, and the 0 would be the fundamental. So usually I always type 0 for when importing wavetables. For example, since these all have the note, I just say, for example, G0, G0, A sharp 0, and just drag and drop into Serum. So now if I play it, you basically have the shape, the wave shape. So usually these tails I like to remove them, so I'm just gonna remove like this, and then I'm gonna morph them. I can do like crossfade, spectral. I usually like just choose a random one. And of course, process these, normalizing. And just do like random things with these, for example, something like this. And you can like bend these like, or you can use like a remap sort of thing, like having something like this, very crunchy. And you can do like a very nice growl sound with this, like just like doing something like this and removing this, and then just having this FM. And then you just can like just do something like this. something that I like to do with like growls is just having a very little value change on the FM when automated, just to like not make too much of an impact with the sound, because then it sounds very weird. It doesn't sound very nice in my opinion. And then I like to add a phaser, which would be -48. This phaser, I really like it a lot. Sounds very Skrillex-ish. And what you can do also, like obviously you have this, just add a second filter like in the top with a bandpass, like a bandpass in 24 would sound nice. And then just add the multiband, like and start adding the effects, like just to make it. Or instead, you can do something like this. Since we use the two filters in Serum, we can use the EQ as a third filter, which is also very cool, very nice to have. It has like a very gritty, very heavy sound. We can add a bit of more FM if we want a bit of more. And we can add like a second phaser, like this effect phaser, just to add a bit more like stereo. It sounds very growlish, and then you can like post process these basses and have them like even more fuller, more dynamic. Have like, if you for example add a few OTTs on this, you can definitely get some artifacts going out. And you can also add like that metallic sound, like very little metal sound. It sounds like very BarelyAlive. Like BarelyAlive does this style of basses, like definitely with the bandpass, because like the bandpass is very powerful for like doing basses and stuff like that. And you can like add macros to this to like change the bass during the track. Like for example, if I post process this is gonna sound way better. For example, if I had a few OTTs onto this, like OTT phaser, I really like this phaser plugin. It's already sounding so gritty. Again, I'm gonna add the envelope here to the reverb. I'm just gonna to remove a bit of that tail. And you can like add EQ like because for example there's this annoying frequency over here, so if I can like turn this around, yeah, it's right around there, and then I can remove these annoying frequencies as well, so like completely turn, like for example, like I can just like remove completely the high end, which is like so piercing sharp, like if I just do like a very, and then I can just like add another OTT or like add some redux to this, like get the high end back without those sharp piercing frequencies. And then add like a sound gurizer or something that distorts the sound, just like not distorted but like beefing it up just to make it a bit louder. And you got a growl that sounds from this to this. And you can do like the same with these basses. For example, if I go here and route these to this, it already sounds a bit louder. It sounds a bit like beefier and stuff like that. And that's something cool you can do. Like for example, in this particular case, this doesn't work too well with this. So what I can do is like add an OTT with like 30% OTT and a lot of time. And then add the phaser again because like it's my favorite plugin right now. Have it around this area, this clock over here. Yeah, right around there. And then just like EQ this as well. And just like start processing this. Like for example, this could be at like 70%, not too much. And then you can add like a chorus to this as well, like with very little, like no LFO on this. And then have this like 7 milliseconds. And this is around here. And it gives it a more metallic tone, or you can also add like flangers to this. Again at around 30%, but I'm gonna leave the time as is. And there's like a very sharp sound, and you can just like just clean it up like this. Like you can always clean up sounds afterwards. You post-process them with an EQ, so that's never a problem. Like for example, this one has a bit too much low end, so I'm just gonna like turn it off. And like you can do so many things here with just like basic serum patches, and then just like post process them and have like these very unique, very heavy, very beefy sounds. And there's like an endless possibility of like, for example, you can like just change the wavetable on this and have like even different sound. Like for example, if I squarify this. I'm sorry again for the CPU lagging. It's battery saver, a power saver. I don't know why this enable when I plug it in. But see, and then if I like change the wavetable again, for example, let's say this one looks cool. Um, unplug this again. Just by changing the wavetable, it gave a completely different sound. And if I change this wave, it changes even more, which is very insane. Like you can do so many different sounds and just like bounce them into wave, store them in folders, and you can do so many things with like just one patch. Like one patch can give you so much sounds. For example, instead of having like a flanger, I could use a comb filter. And it like changes the sound so much, which is so insane, so awesome. So yeah, um, this is my tutorial for today. I made 3 patches. Hopefully, you guys learned a lot. Also, guys, I'm very proud to say that I'm now on Spotify. I'm gonna be leaving the link in the description if you guys like want to listen to my music. If you have been a subscriber to my channel, you guys definitely know I finished an EP. It's gonna be released soon. It's gonna be on Spotify. So if you guys like, if you're not in the channel, you definitely have to like subscribe to be like um updated with all everything I'm doing. I'm doing all these awesome stuff. I already have 5 tracks done. So hopefully, yeah, you guys really like this, and I'm gonna finish the tutorial here. Thanks for watching, guys, and also thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. I'm really proud of it. Anyways, this was SoundKiller. Thank you for watching, and until next time.